In March 2020, the American world as we knew it changed forever. The World Health Organization declared the coronavirus, better known as COVID-19,
a pandemic.
And 2 days later, former President Donald Trump declared the U.S.
a national emergency.
People were encouraged to stay home, limit their contacts, and wear face coverings. As of April 19, 2021, there have been 27,982 confirmed cases, 800 of them being active cases in Dutchess County, New York. On a larger scale, America has seen 31.7 million cases total and an overall death count of 567,000. Since the beginning of the outbreak, there have been 141 million cases and 3.01 million deaths worldwide. With the encouragement of staying home, many businesses were forced to shut down. Businesses such as hair salons, gyms, movie theaters, and schools shut their doors. What remained functioning was grocery stores, gas stations, and hospitals, anything that was considered essential to survival. Restaurants, however, were faced with the decision of whether they would remain open or be forced to shut down due to a lack of business and safety concerns. For our capstone project, we felt it was important to shed light on the negative impacts that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on small local restaurants in the Poughkeepsie area. Poughkeepsie is a bustling town full of vibrant restaurants that provides unique, memorable experiences for anyone of any age. As of April 2021, about a year after the start of the pandemic, Dutchess County continues to have a 3.83% positive rate with around 800 active cases. To see how local restaurants in the immediate Poughkeepsie area are working through the pandemic a year later, we set up interviews with two local favorites.
Back in 2005, we opened Lola's, and in 2007, we knew that they were going to be working on the walkway.
I have been here approximately 4 years at this point, but I've been working in the restaurant industry for about 20 years now.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic hit the United States, restaurants had a great deal of freedoms on how they ran day to day. While there were still certain sanitation rules that had to be followed, restaurants had the freedom to sit customers at full capacity, reuse menus, allow unlimited seating time for customers, but most notable, no one had to wear a mask.
Pre-pandemic, things were honestly going very, very well. We had just remodeled the restaurant. We had tons of events that were set up, private parties and the such, and that all came to a grinding halt in March.
So the stress that I went through was trying to not lay off any of my staff. So we pivoted. We implemented online ordering. We started to deliver here through Lolita's, and we used the front of the house staff as our delivery people. So we kind of made every adjustment we could to make sure that we didn't have to close down, to make sure that everybody could get a paycheck.
As soon as the lockdown began, everything flipped. Bars were shut down. Socially distanced seating was required. Paper or online menus were used, and seating times were strictly limited to allow for abundant sanitation in between parties.
What has happened is COVID has taken the hospitality out of hospitality. For me, what I love about this business is interacting with public, right? So you come here because of the way that we make you feel.
We were luckily able to throw together an outdoor patio. However, that also came with its own set of ups and downs. It was great because we could actually have customers at the time. However, our customer base was now dependent on the weather, which was never an issue before. So if it rained, we couldn't even really operate but for takeout. So also the amount of PPE that we've had to buy, being masks, gloves, all of that stuff, and not to mention that the prices have basically tripled since pre-pandemic.
However, delivery services such as Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash took off with the start of the pandemic. In 2016, long before COVID-19 made its way into the United States, food delivery accounted for only 7% of restaurant sales. By April of 2020, 1 month into the start of the lockdown, delivery jumped to 22% of restaurant sales. Many more chain restaurants began to appear on these popular apps as customers took advantage of the contactless delivery that was offered. Unfortunately, smaller and local restaurants were hit harder with the pandemic.
The delivery services suck.
When they first started contacting us at the beginning of the pandemic, they were charging about 30%.
Some of them will increase your price point too. So there's some where, like, let's say you come here and it's $12.95 for something, but they'll list it on their menu for like $16.95. So they're making $4 off your food, and then on top of that, they're gonna charge a delivery fee and then 30% back.
If we were to offer, a delivery service 30% to bring it to the customers, there's certain dishes where we would end up losing money, and almost all of them we would make no money on them.
For me to have a delivery person, I may break even. So you almost want to go the delivery route because you have so much competition. Everybody else is delivering. So if I bring in people, I'm paying workers' comp, I'm paying, all the employee taxes, I'm paying all this overhead, and then the risk and liability of having them get behind a wheel and deliver food for you.
And we did deliveries ourselves. So myself and whatever staff that we could muster up for that day, we're taking the deliveries on our own.
So meanwhile, the customer has ordered, it's been 35 minutes, we still can't find a driver, and then DoorDash will call us back and say, can't get a driver, sorry. Then we have to call the customer, and we either have to take it or we have to refund their money.
With most parts of the country slowly reopening to pre-pandemic norms, it's important to take a moment and reflect upon how small businesses struggled with financial hardships due to the year-long pandemic. With COVID-19 bringing many new regulations with it, local restaurants had difficulty adapting to these quick-coming changes. Local Poughkeepsie favorites, Crew Restaurant and Lolita's, steered clear of third-party delivery services, as it would cost more money than they were already losing. Luckily, both restaurants were able to stay open and worked with their community to be able to serve their customers. We discovered that smaller local businesses rely heavily on the business and support of their communities.